You are now listening to the Going North podcast, where you'll receive tips and techniques to advance yourself. I'm your host, Dom Brightmon, and every week we're going to be hearing from an author who's going to share their expertise to help you charge forward in life. On a quick side note, be sure to check out Going North the book. It's available in ebook, audio, as well as paperback form for those who love to read a traditional book. Now let's get on with the show. And today on the Going North podcast, you already know what I'm about to say. We have, you guessed it, another author, but not just any author. This author right here has published not one book, not two books, not three, but 7. Wait a second. If I'm not mistaken, it's 8 books, right?
That's right. Number 8 just came out.
Number 8. Oh, my gosh, she's going to have 2 hands soon. And this wonderful lady is a digital marketing consultant, a public speaker, and a life transition coach. She's been featured on Time magazine. And this lady, oh my goodness, there's a saying called Jack of all trades, master of none. Well, you should be calling this wonderful lady the Melony of many trades and master of the many that she has mastered. And I said her first name already, but her last name is Hill because she's going to drop all sorts of gems and knowledge. How are you today, ma'am?
I am awesome, darling. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, yes, ma'am, indeed. Yes, ma'am, indeed. Yes, ma'am, indeed. And a fellow Baltimorean at that. This is freaking awesome.
Indeed, indeed. It's nice to get some Baltimore love.
There you go. Something besides the darn body count. Like, there's more going on here than death.
Indeed. There's so many great things going on here, and I appreciate you highlighting some of us.
Yes, ma'am. So speaking of highlights, mind filling in the gaps where I may have missed some things in the introduction?
Well, let's see. I am a life and business transition coach. I'm an author. I'm also a journalist. So I write for 3 print magazines right now. That's Unbreakable Magazine. Oh, actually, it's 4. Wow. Unbreakable, 86 Boulevard, Bad Magazine, and Bad Urban Dolls. And then I'm a paid blogger, and so I work for the Urban Twist, and I'm also a journalist for BaltimoreBlack.com, which I'm really excited about being on staff with 2 Baltimore-based blogs.
Yeah, Melony of all trades indeed.
Oh, duh. One more thing. I'm the head of the Baltimore branch of the Freelancers Union. I do a lot.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of when I was joking around with you earlier saying that you work 72 hours a day with no sleep.
I know. It's so weird, and it seems like that because I literally have so many things going on. Like my company put out 3 books this month while I was having that big Black mental health awareness event and still dealing with my clients and that kind of stuff. But as I said to you earlier, I really structured myself so that my work is not work and it's not time-consuming.
Amen, indeed. So I'm guessing you've read the 4-Hour Work Week and put into practice, or did you find out on your own? Oh, okay.
So I did some reading. Google is my best friend, and I taught myself pretty much everything. I'm autodidactic. Because I have mental illness, I can't learn the way other people learn. It just doesn't work for me. I do better teaching myself things than trial and error.
There you go. So just jumping out the plane without the parachute fully attached and then just creating it while you're falling, huh?
Well, that's what crazy people do.
Yeah.
I mean, I decided last year I was going to become an author. In 14 months, I've not only published 8 books of my own, but I've made 15 people publish authors.
Yeah, so that's 72 hours a day is really 96. So how the heck did you do all that in 14 months?
Well, I mean, that's a small part of what I've done in 14 months. Like you said, I've been featured in Time magazine. I've been on television. I've been booked as a paid public speaker at colleges and universities like MICA and University of Maryland School of Medicine. I moved into an office. I have a weekly therapeutic writing workshop. So, I mean, I launched my coaching business in October, and by March I hit my first 10K month. So it's just like it seems like I'm doing a lot, but again, I'm going to tell you, it's the structure that I've created that makes it. My brand is so big, and I do so little work.
Amen indeed. Amen indeed. So with your rocket-propelled year, what trials did you have to overcome to get to where you currently are?
Well, first off, I had to overcome my reputation. That's always the hardest. When you're trying to build something new, is to get people to not look at the old you. And the old me was everywhere. So when you say, I don't want you to look at the old me, it's hard to say that when you have almost 3 million views on Pornhub and you refuse to take your videos down. You know, it's kind of hard to say, I don't want y'all to look at the old me when you have 2 websites devoted to the old you and you haven't pulled them down either. You know, like, so for me, it was overcoming the stigma of who I was and not the reality of who I was. Like, I'm not ashamed of anything that I did. I did porn. I was a webcam girl. And a lover of life. I guess I was like a prostitute at some points in life. Like, I've been a sex worker probably for about 20 years. Like, in the last year and a half, I decided to clean up my act, you know. But that's what Time Magazine reached out to me for. It was for an article about sex workers in the Me Too movement. That's what the University of Maryland called me for. That's what Stevenson University in Massachusetts called me for. And so even though I've had this stigma attached to me, oh, she used to be a sex worker, again, I'm a life and business transition coach. I branded myself as a sex worker advocate. And so now I get all these great interviews and stuff. Like tomorrow I have Media Matters America. I never even heard of them. And one of the people from the Sex Worker Outreach Project that I'm a part of said to me, why aren't you trying to get this interview? And I said, well, I don't even know what Media Matters America is. I went to look them up on Facebook. They have 889,000 followers. I have the interview in my inbox now.
Nice.
It's about sex workers. Like,
no escape, huh?
You know, so I've branded myself as a transition coach, and I've used my transition from sex worker to author, advocate, and life coach as my business.
Well, there you go. There you go. Got to use your past pain to create a present that will transform the lives of others. I love it.
Well, it's one of my new coaching programs that launches in August. It's called Paying the Platform. It actually teaches women, because a lot of us have past that we're embarrassed about, or that things that we wish that we hadn't done. And now that the internet is out there, you know, it's like you might want to try to do some things, but you're really afraid of what's going to come up from your past. Like, we see it happen every day. So I teach women how to turn that, what they did, into their platform for advocacy and money.
I love that. Paying the platform. Is it going to be like a T-shirt too, or a whole clothing line too?
I don't know, but by the time you air this, I'll have trademarked it because your people are going to try to steal it.
Hey, we got some thieves out there. Freaking, we got Robin Hoods, but they're just, some are named Robin and some are just straight hoods. So yeah.
But you know what?
Right.
I appreciate them Robin Hoods, because had it not been for a Robin Hood, I wouldn't be where I am right now. Like, I really accredit to my 14-month success to a Robin Hood chick. And I tell people all the time, like, the reason why I didn't just publish my books, but I decided to start teaching other people how to publish, which led to me teaching workshops and launching my coaching business, is that I went to this workshop one day, and there was a woman having a workshop that said, publish a book in 30 days. And so I was so close to the process of publishing my first book that I just needed the last little pieces to figure out what to do. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go to this workshop. But when I got there, the first thing she did was she disqualified half of the people in the room, which really annoyed me, because you should have did that in your targeting, right? And so she said, well, who's here and wants to write a fiction book? And she was like, well, I'm really not here to focus on you. That's bad marketing. Your marketing should have handled that. And so in the room, I realized that she was a multi-author, and she had published a bunch of other people's books, but she was not trying to sell us a book, and she had no interest in us knowing anything about the other authors that she had published. That was a red flag, because here you are trying to make me an author, but you're not telling me about anybody else that you published or anything like that to show me that they're successful. And so at the end of it, what she was really trying to do was to get people into her $3,000 program. And her $3,000 program is that she was going to publish your book under her company, but she would be publishing it as her, the publisher. You had to buy books from her for $3,000. She wasn't going to teach you marketing or do marketing for you. And I saw that it was a ripoff. However, I saw her make $12,000 in that run because 4 people signed up. Oh. And I felt bad. I said, she's ripping off this community because these are 4 people who are going to sign up and not get their desired results. And there was a woman who I knew that worked with her who was still working her full-time job and struggling because she had invested that money and got no real results. And so I said, I have to do something. And so within 2 months, I had developed my own course, which is called Publish Your Book on Any Budget. And I teach that workshop. I teach it regularly every other month, and I've actually taught it at a local college once because it's so much easier to publish a book than anybody seems to realize. But because we have all these Robin Hoods out here saying, oh, I want to help you, I'm just trying to help you, but they're not. They're trying to get over on you because you don't know the real cost of things.
That is so true. Oh, my goodness.
I'm on disability. The fact that I've been able to publish 8 books in 14 months says that it's not that expensive.
That's true. That is true indeed. Yeah, because one fellow author of mine, she says she's going to set aside $500 to publish a book, and she did it.
Yeah.
And you probably found something with your
I've
program.
Done it cheaper than that.
Cheaper. Yep.
I have. I published my books a lot cheaper than that.
Yes, ma'am, indeed. So go on there and find your way over to Melony's wonderful program of Pain to Platform after you're done listening to this magical episode.
And all my coaching programs are available at StrongerThanMyStruggles.com. I have others. Come check me out.
That's right. Check her out like a checklist, y'all, and check her out like a book, like you're at the library. That's right.
Hey, be careful with all that checking. I might start checking for you.
What advice would you give to someone who's looking to create their own version of what you've done for yourself?
Well, first, I would tell them to be authentic. There are too many people who are trying to be carbon copies of what they see on the Internet, and they think that that is the key to making money. And if you see someone making a lot of money, it's not because they're a carbon copy of someone else. It's because they found their niche and they're authentic in it, and you need to find your own. So whatever you're good at, put some real effort into finding out the business things behind that and run with it. We all have these innate talents. I've wanted to be a writer my whole life. I went from writing for myself to writing blogs to writing for magazines to being a journalist to interviewing celebrities to publishing books and now teaching others the process of publishing and how to make money through writing. Because that's what I love to do, and I took the time to learn the business behind it. If you love something, love it enough to let it be what provides for you.
That's what I'm talking about. And the beautiful thing about it is you got to a point where folks actually sought you out.
Indeed. Well, a lot of that is, and I won't say that I stay in the media. I'm constantly in the media. There was another article written 2 days ago that came out about how women with mental illness seem to suffer more from sexual assault and things like that in the Me Too movement. And it's a great article on the establishment, and that features me. And there's another one coming out next week. I can't say what it is yet. But I stay in the media, and a lot of it is because of Haro. And a lot of people won't use it. People will sign up for it, but they don't utilize it the way they should. I just pitched 2 reporters today. But I get those Haro emails just like everybody else, and I actually utilize them, and it helps me stay in the media.
Oh, let's see here. I think it was, help a reporter out, Haro?
That's right.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There was a good buddy, Nancy Gaines. She mentioned that as well, wrote a little mini book about it, funny enough. And you're actually using that to your advantage.
I stay in the media. I just pitched you more reporters today.
That's what I'm talking about. Relentless passion, staying in the media.
You have to invest in learning the business. And notice I keep saying the word invest. You have to invest in learning the business. And I think another thing that I would tell people who are just starting out is that you have to spend money. They don't want to spend money to make money. You have to spend money. I don't care if you start with a marketing budget of $50 a month. Find a way to make that $50 a month work for you until you have $100 a month. I see so many people with great ideas never make it because they don't want to invest the money, because they have this mindset that what I have is so great that other people should pay for it. Cool, but you have to make them pay for it, and you have to make people aware of it, and you have to invest money into that. I'm a small business. I don't have a lot of money to invest in my marketing and promotion every month. However, I just signed a contract with a magazine that I like, I support, I follow, and I see that their following is larger than mine when it comes to what I'm doing in the coaching and working with women business. So they reach my target audience a lot more than I do. Like on Instagram, they have 26,000 followers. On Facebook, they have 6,000. Their website gets 4,000 to 5,000 hits a week. I just invested in a contract with them where they'll be promoting me for the next 6 months, where I'll be in the magazine 3 times. I'll be on their social media regularly. You have to be willing to invest in your business. And that's going to cost me $100 a month for the next 6 months. If I can't do that for my business, then I'm not running a business.
That's true indeed, and that $600 can turn into $60,000.
Indeed.
Or heck, even more. Let's not limit it, right?
But you have to be willing to invest. I mean, it's more than throwing a website up or saying, I got a Facebook page, and so many people are doing business and don't even have a website. Like, it's crazy. You have to be willing to invest in your business to make money in your business.
Yeah, it's true, because some things that may be seen as money pits, it's not really money pit, depending on what you actually allocate the money for.
Indeed, and it all depends on the outcome you want. See, nothing is a waste of time if you get what you want, and people don't see it that way. Nothing is a waste if you know your desired outcome from the beginning and you get that.
Beginning with the end in mind.
I'll tell you a quick example of that. Last week, former president of the NAACP and current gubernatorial candidate for governor in Maryland, Ben Jealous, came down to my office. He came and met with me, 2 of my coaching clients who happen to be nurses. My 2 coaching clients, they went into this meeting knowing that we were going to be talking about mental health resources and legislation, that this was really a part of his campaign. However, they were focused on trying to get their points across. They were like, yeah, we're going to try to talk to them about this and this and this. And I had to tell them like 3 times, you are a prop. Now, what you need to do is focus on 1 or 2 things you want to try to get across, because it's not about you. You're a prop. And you have to recognize that you have to figure out from the beginning what you want your desired outcome to be, because we're about to go live with a man who has all eyes on him because he's running for governor, and he used to be the national president of the NAACP. He's going to broadcast this live from his page. Don't get flustered trying to get a whole bunch of stuff out. Figure out what your goal is. And it turned out to be a great video. But at the end of it, they still felt like they didn't come across. I came across great. Video was awesome for us. Great for business. But they were still disappointed, and I had to remind them at the end, you were a prop. I can't tell you anymore, but you have to understand everything is not what you want it to be, but you have to find a way to get what you want out of it.
So with all that investments, I'm pretty sure there are some books that you've invested not only money but also time in. Mind sharing a couple titles that have really propelled you?
Well, see, because I had mental illness, I couldn't tell you. Now, I can tell you that I read so many books that it's sickening. But which ones were the ones that stuck out to me that doesn't work for my mindset? When I thought about your question, the only thing that jumped to my mind is Who Moves My Cheese, because that's one that I keep going back to. And I think it's an awesome book, even though it's so small. who moved my cheese is something that no matter how many times life gets screwed up, you have to remember that cheese get moved sometimes. Or maybe you eat up all the cheese here. And either you're going to sit here and die because you're worried about who moved your cheese, or you're going to go find some more cheese.
That's true. That is true indeed. Small but powerful book, but very true and still relevant today. I think that book has been around for 20-plus years, maybe even longer.
Indeed. And that's the weird thing, but that's one that I keep going back to. So it's actually in my head because you can get real caught up in what happened and forget what you can do. Especially a person like me who suffers from mental illness, and depression is a part of that. And with depression, it's really easy to latch onto something that went wrong and to not see the big picture.
But through that depression, you learn to make the ultimate impression on many people.
Wow.
The positive
depression is only a small part of what I deal with. But I'm glad that because I fight my mental illness and I strive to be stronger than my struggles, that it helps so many.
Woohoo! Stronger than your struggles indeed. So that means you got a 12-pack and not a 6-pack, metaphorically speaking, right? So with all of your success, and you went back 3 months and you were 25 in the current year of 2018, what advice would you give to yourself?
Honestly, I would say do you. At 25 is when my life changed. At 25 is when I decided to become Sexy Sapphire. I jumped into the modeling game, the porn industry. That's when I became a cover model for books and magazines. And, I've been living my life since since I became 25. And when I became 25, I decided to be free. And I've been free ever since. And I would tell me to keep going, to do me, because it's worked. I have enjoyed the last 12 years.
There you go. Not 12 years a slave either.
No, it's been 12 years of freedom. My last paycheck was 2006. It's been 12 years of freedom.
There you go. And that was 12 years ago. Let me stop. Bad joke. Well, folks probably already know this, but how can we keep in contact with you and all that you're doing?
Well, you can definitely head over to StrongerThanMyStruggles.com, and we're on all social media, Stronger Than My Struggles, and you can check that hashtag too, because anything you missed out on, I made sure you kept up with it. Just click the hashtag.
That's right. Click on that corned beef hashtag right there. That's right. Stronger Than My Struggles, baby.
Indeed.
That's right. Yeah, got the 12-pack action right there. Got the 6-pack in the front, 6-pack on the back. That's what I am talking about.
You need it when you're carrying the world on your shoulders, I got all these women on my shoulders.
Oh,
I need that 12-pack.
True indeed. Well, there you have it, folks. The wonderful, magnificent Melony Hill, y'all.
Thank you so much for having me today. I enjoyed this.
Woohoo! Then my mission is complete.
Thanks a bunch for your listening ears on the Going North podcast. I hope you really, really enjoyed that episode. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to share it with your friends and family, especially those who love podcasts and love listening to some inspiration and motivation. And keep a lookout for the sequel to Going North, Tips and Techniques to Advance Yourself in October 2018. And if you'd like to connect with me directly, feel free to shoot me an email at